Welcome to SENS Talk. My name is Brandon, and I'm your host. Before we get started, please follow us on Twitter at SENSTalk_. For live time updates of the games and, of course, breaking news. As well, please check out our sponsor, SeatGeek.com, or download the app in the App Store and use the promo code SENSTalk, save $20 off your first purchase. Less than 24 hours after the Senators season ended, we are doing the NHL 2019 playoff preview show. So, Steve Warren will be joining us tomorrow for a live stream, so stay tuned for that. As well, in the comment section below, I will be putting the time for, you can just click on the time and you'll be able to see for each matchup preview of mine. So if you don't want to see the whole thing, you just want to get to your team, like let's say you're cheering for the Vegas Golden Knights, it'll be like 4 or 5 minutes in, you'll click on that, it'll be in the comment section, you can click on that and just watch that preview, so you don't have to watch through the whole video if you didn't want to. Now, we're going to go through the West first, so we're going to get to Flames and Avs, Vegas Sharks, Preds, Stars, Jets, and Blues, and then we're going to, the latter half of the show, we're going to get to Tampa versus Columbus, Bruins versus the Leafs, Caps versus the Canes, and the Islanders versus the Pittsburgh Penguins. First up, the Calgary Flames versus the Colorado Avalanche. So the first matchup we're going to speak about is the Colorado Avalanche versus the Calgary Flames. The Flames are the 1 seed, and the Avalanche are the 8 seed. Now, sporting an old Calgary Flames AHL team affiliate, St. John's, the old affiliate for the Calgary Flames. I thought it'd be appropriate to wear it. So let's get into this matchup. Firstly, lots of questions going into the series for the Avalanche. Mikko Rantanen was held out 4 or 5 games in a row leading up until the playoffs. Is he healthy? It's still questionable whether or not he'll be able to return in time for Game 1 on Wednesday or Thursday, I believe. So that's a huge question because McKinnon and Landeskog, that line is insane. But the Avalanche as a whole really need Mikko Rantanen if they want to have a chance against the Calgary Flames. But even without Mikko Rantanen, the Avs in their last 10 went 8-0-2. So they're hot right now. They're coming into the playoffs on a win streak, just squeaked by the Arizona Coyotes for that last playoff spot. A questionable thing for the Calgary Flames is their goaltending. Riddick and Smith have been on and off all season. Who gets to start? Will it be Mike Smith, the veteran, or David Riddick with the better numbers this season? It's too close to call. Either way, it's a good pick. But in reality, Flames, there's no way this series should be a walk the park for them with a guy, Norris Trophy candidate like Giordano, players like Gaudreau firing on all cylinders. Their offense is, they have depth throughout the lineup, the Flames. Their defense is scoring. Their goaltending is stopping the puck. And the Avs, they have that top line of McKinnon, Landeskog, and Rantanen. And, Grubauer has played well as of late. And they're coming in 8-0-2. But they're playing the top team in the West, and they're the top team in the West for a reason. So I think the Avs are going to be competitive in all these games. I think they're going to put up a good fight, but I think the Flames are going to take this one in 5. The games will be close, but the Flames are going to come out on top out of 5 games. They're going to win the series in 5 and move on to the second round. Let's get to Vegas versus the Sharks, the next preview. So the next series we're going to speak about, as I'm wearing my Vegas Golden Knights jersey, is between the Vegas Golden Knights and the San Jose Sharks. The battle of the former Ottawa Senators superstars Erik Karlsson versus Mark Stone. Let's get into this preview. Big question marks for the San Jose Sharks going into this game, into the series, pardon me. Firstly, Martin Jones. .897 save percentage in the regular season. That is awful. That is, for a team that's third in the Pacific Division, that is awful. And that's going to be the downfall for the San Jose Sharks. .897 save percentage. Martin Jones is going to need to turn it around quick for the San Jose Sharks to have a chance in this series, because since Stone has been acquired for the Vegas Golden Knights, which was February 26th on the trade deadline day, they have been 11-6-2 since the trade. Well, San Jose, in the stretch run in their last 11, are 3-8-1, and Fleury's healthy now. Vegas is healthy. They have new additions like Stastny. They have new additions as Pacioretty. They have Stone. Fleury is playing on top of his head. The Vegas Golden Knights are ready to compete again for another Stanley Cup run, while the San Jose Sharks, they have Erik Karlsson back. He's healthy. Their lineup is healthy. But they're not going anywhere unless their goaltending is going to bring them there, because they're very close in all departments. Offense, they're pretty close. Now with Stone, they're very close. Defense, it's still close. I'd give the edge, obviously, to San Jose because they have 2 superstars in Burns and Karlsson. But goaltending is lopsided in favor of the Vegas Golden Knights. And goaltending is how you win games in the playoffs. Unless Martin Jones miraculously turns this around, I think the offense of the blue line for the San Jose Sharks is going to help the San Jose Sharks win a couple of games. But Martin Jones is really going to be the downfall of this team. I see Vegas upsetting Erik Karlsson and the San Jose Sharks and taking them down in 6 games and heading on to the second round to face, I believe, the Calgary Flames. Now let's get to the next matchup preview between the Nashville Predators and the Dallas Stars. So the next matchup is between the Nashville Predators and the Dallas Stars. Going into this matchup, the Dallas Stars have had great goaltending, which has not been a thing for them for the last few seasons. This is the first year, really, in a long time Dallas has had good goaltending. And speaking of this goaltending, Ben Bishop and Tuukka Dupin has really held down the fort for the Dallas Stars with the lowest goals against average in the Western Conference. That is huge. Like I said in my previous matchup preview between San Jose and Vegas, goaltending is everything for the playoffs, and that's going to really, really help the Dallas Stars out. And the downfall of the Dallas Stars, though, is their lack of depth scoring. After Alex Radulov, Jamie Benn, and Tyler Seguin, there's not much scoring there. Their leading goal scorer out of those 3 after that is John Klingberg, I believe, which is a defenseman. Their second, third, and fourth line, minus Matt Zuccarello, really, they need to step it up here. The Predators are a really stacked team all out. Depth-wise, everywhere, all functions of their lineup, they are stacked. And the goaltending for the Stars are going to keep them in it. They're going to win them a couple games. The superstars such as Tyler Seguin, Jamie Benn, Radulov are really going to, keep them in games. But in reality, there's not enough depth there for Dallas to be able to upset Nashville. There's just not enough scoring depth for Dallas to be able to pull off an upset like this. The one way they can do this is with special teams. If they can beat Nashville in the special teams department, because they have a better power play. Nashville's power play is the worst in the National Hockey League with 12.9%, 31st in the NHL in the regular season. If the Dallas Stars can take advantage of their power play opportunities and shut the door with the goaltending, that's the only way I see them winning this. But even then, Predators are too skilled and have too much depth throughout their lineup in all functions of positions. I see Predators taking this one in 6. I think the Stars are going to get some scoring on the power play. I think the Stars are going to get some really good goaltending. But I think at the end of the day, the Predators have such a well-rounded lineup with good depth everywhere, scoring, defense, everything. I think they're winning this one in 6. Now let's get to the next matchup between the Jets and the Blues, and this one is going to be very interesting. So the final preview for the Western Conference in the first round is between the Winnipeg Jets and the St. Louis Blues. Going into this matchup, 2 tales of 2 different teams. In the 2018 calendar, for the beginning of the season, the first half of the season, the Winnipeg Jets were flying high and they were one of the best teams in the National Hockey League, while the St. Louis Blues, once again, were not playing up to their potential and one of the worst teams in the National Hockey League. Flip the calendar to the 2019, and it's the opposite, as the Winnipeg Jets are one of the worst teams in that calendar for playoff teams. They were ranked 17. While the St. Louis Blues, thanks to Jordan Binghamton, we'll get to him later, one of the best teams in the National Hockey League. So really it comes down to consistency for the Winnipeg Jets. Can they keep it together and can they stay consistent? They've shown spurts of being that elite team we know they are, and they've shown spurts of being just mediocre playoff bubble team. So what are they going to be in the playoffs? A big part of the reason they were mediocre, I'll say that in quotations, is because Dustin Byfuglien was out for an extended period of time, but he is back now. Another reason they were mediocre is because Josh Morrissey, another defenseman that it's been out, and he's still day-to-day, and there's really no timetable for when he will return. People assume he'll be ready for the playoffs, but we don't know. We don't know if he'll be back for Game 1, Game 2. That could be a big loss, and if he comes back early, is he really healthy? So you're not getting a fully healthy Josh Morrissey as well. Now let's get to the Blues. Why I'm bringing up defense for the Jets. Defense is everything. Defense for the Blues has been spectacular in 2019. Alex Pietrangelo and Vince Dunn, 2 of the top 8 blue liners for scoring in the National Hockey League in the 2019 calendar year. So that's huge for the Blues. Tarasenko has returned to form. Ryan O'Reilly is on a crazy, he's had a really, really good season. And Jordan Binghamton, this is a deciding factor, in my opinion, for the series. In his first NHL action, 23-5-1 record, .927 save percentage, 189 goals against average. This guy is a Calder Trophy candidate for sure, and he's going to be the deciding factor, in my opinion, for the series. I think Hellebuck's had a really good second half and first half. Hellebuck, through that mediocre part, I've watched the games. He's looked decent to pretty good. He's got a shutout the last few games ago. He's been really good. But Jordan Binghamton's been on another level. The one falter to him, can he handle the pressure? I don't see why he can't. He made the NHL debut, no one expected out of him. And now he's just riding the hot wave. You know way goalies are with like the Hamburglar. You never know. He can falter here, or he can continue. I think he's going to continue. I don't see why he wouldn't continue. The Blues are feeling good. They're firing on all cylinders. Their defense is scoring. Their offense is scoring. Their goaltending is stopping the puck. While the Jets, there's questions. Is Morrissey healthy? Is Byfuglien going to be able to produce like he was before he got injured? Can the Jets score consistently? I think it's going to be a close series. I think it's going to come down to consistency. I think it's going to be a really close battle. But I think goaltending is the deciding factor here. The blue line, with Morrissey coming back, I assume in the series, will be close. But goaltending, Bennington, he's been too hot. He's been really, really good. I don't think you can bet against this guy right now. Blues in 7. It hurts me to say it, but I think the Jets are going to get upset in the first round. And that's the vulture of this playoff format, but I think the Blues are going to ride the hot wave of Jordan Binnington. I think he's going to bring them to the second round. We'll see. That's what I'm wary about. I can see the Jets pulling out with a win in that series. I can see the Blues. That's a 50-50 toss-up, and I just have to give it to the Blues just because of goaltending, which is always, in my opinion, as you guys know and girls know, the deciding factor, in my opinion, for playoff series. Now let's get to the Eastern Conference matchups. Let's start off with Columbus versus the President Trophy winners and one of the best teams in National Hockey League history, the Tampa Bay Lightning. So the first matchup in the Eastern Conference is between one of the best teams the National Hockey League has ever seen, and the Tampa Bay Lightning versus the Columbus Blue Jackets, who just squeaked into the playoffs with a victory over the New York Rangers a couple of nights ago. Now let's get into this matchup preview. Firstly, the special teams for both teams is going to be critical. The power play for the Tampa Bay Lightning, obviously, best in the National Hockey League, 28.2% power play percentage. Penalty kill, 85%, tied for first with Columbus. Surprisingly, both teams have an 85% penalty kill. While Columbus's power play went 15.4% on the power play, which is good for 28th, third last in the National Hockey League. So really, obviously, penalty kill is crucial for Columbus to keep Tampa Bay off the board, because Tampa Bay has weapons like Point, like Stamkos, like Kucherov, lots of weapons. And then you got like Cirelli, you got Johnson, you have plenty of options. Sergachev. This team is absolutely insane. So really, Columbus, I don't know how they're going to do this, but they're going to have to stop them on the power play. They're going to have to stop them 5-on-5, and Bobrovsky's going to have to stand on his head. Columbus Blue Jackets, they need to stop the Tampa Bay offense, like I just said. You know, if you're going to stop Stamkos, you got to stop Braden Point. If you're going to stop Point, you got to stop Kucherov. If you're going to stop Kucherov, you got to stop Sergachev. I can go on all day. They have scoring on all 4 lines. They have scoring on all lines on their defense. And hell, I bet even Andrei Vasilevsky, their starting goaltender, can score. One concern for Tampa Bay, Victor Hedman. He has an undisclosed injury, and there's no timetable for his return. They're hopeful. Hopeful is different than confirmed. They're hopeful that he'll return in the playoffs, but will that be in the first round? Will that be in the second round? Or will that be in the third round? Whatever. That is a big loss for the Tampa Bay Lightning. And that is something positive. You know, nothing positive about him being injured. But for the Columbus Blue Jackets, without Hedman in the lineup, that gives them a little bit of weakness on the blue line for Tampa Bay, which is still very strong, with the Vezina goaltender and Andrei Vasilevsky, candidate goaltender Vasilevsky. Panarin, Duchesne, Dzingel, Atkinson, Dubois. Those guys need to really step it up in the series. You have to combat, at least break even with Tampa Bay's offense, and not even break even. You need to exceed Tampa Bay's goal scoring, because Vasilevsky, you know damn well is going to stand on his head. That defense is good, and the offense is going to score on all cylinders. So it's up to those 5 guys, especially Duchesne, Dzingel, acquired the trade deadline from the Ottawa Senators, to really keep them alive. For Tampa Bay, they just got to do their thing. And for Columbus, they need to score more somehow, and they got to kill their power play chances. So really, I don't see how Tampa Bay does not win this series. But I'm going to say Tampa Bay in 6 games, just because John Tortorella has a nick for always playing above their heads. Last year, Columbus barely lost to the eventual Stanley Cup winners, Washington Capitals, with a worse team, and that was a really strong team. So this year, they're going to win a couple games. Bobrovsky is going to play well. You know, he doesn't have a great playoffs track record, but he's going to play well. They have a lot of scoring. Their scoring is going to give them something. Werenski and Seth Jones gives them some punch on the back end. I think they're going to get a couple games, but there's no way Tampa Bay loses in the first round. Tampa Bay in 6, easily. Sorry, Columbus Blue Jackets fans. it was a nice gamble, but you're playing against Tampa Bay. There's no way you're going to beat Tampa Bay. If you do, that's a hell of... I'm glad I'm wrong. That'll be a hell of a series if you guys beat them. But it really comes down to Hedman. If he's out for long term, that gives you a chance. If not, say goodbye to your season. Now let's get to this next matchup between the Boston Bruins and the Toronto Maple Leafs. The next matchup is between the Boston Bruins and the Toronto Maple Leafs. This matchup obviously has history. 2013, 4-1, the Leafs led. 5-4, they lost in overtime in Game 7. Last year, Game 7, Bruins win that one convincingly. Now we're back here in a Bruins versus Leafs first round matchup again, which I'm very happy about because I'm not a Leaf fan, I'm a SENS fan, screw the Leafs. Let's get to the matchup. Let's talk about some stats. So firstly, the special teams, both penalty kills are mediocre, while the power play for the Bruins, I believe, is 3rd ranked, and the Leafs is 8th ranked. The offense is pretty much even. The Bruins, they got Pasternak, they have Marchand, and then they have secondary scoring like Krejci, etc. They have plenty of scoring, with the Leafs, John Tavares, Austin Matthews, etc. They have some scoring as well. It's pretty even there. The goaltending is going to really be the deciding factor of the series. Goaltending and defense. We know both teams can score, but we know the Bruins have the advantage on defense. Charlie McAvoy, Torrey Krug, Zdeno Chara, Miller, etc. They have a really good the blue line that can score as well. While the Leafs, Riley, legitimate Norris Trophy candidate. Gardner, I guess, he's not bad. Makes some mistakes. Jake Muzzin's good. But after that, you have Hainsey, and then you have some rookies. Dermott, the Leafs D is okay. The Bruins is better. And the problem with the Leafs defense, it gives up a lot of shots. It's given up a lot of shots all season, and Frederik Andersen's been worn down because of that. Going into the playoffs, Frederik Andersen has a below 900 save percentage. Frederik Andersen had the same thing last year. We know the outcome of that. Frederik Andersen, the reason the Leafs have been really good this season is thanks to Frederik Andersen stealing them games and making some big stops and out of a lot of shots, stopping majority of them. Now, he's worn down, and damn well the Bruins are going to shoot as many pucks they can on Frederik Andersen. Tuukka Rask, he needs to step up and play some solid hockey. Tuukka Rask, he's had his reputation in the playoffs and not, play as well as he can. So if he can play as well as he can, which I don't see why he can, he's been really good this year, I think Tuukka Rask is going to be just fine. Frederik Andersen concerns me. Going into the playoffs with below 900 save percentage and then in the last 12 games or something. Andersen, he needs to stand on his head for the Leafs to have a chance in this series, because the defense is advantage of the Bruins, the offense is even, goaltending is the deciding factor. Tuukka Rask is going to be just fine in my opinion. Freddie Andersen, it comes down to him, and I don't think he can do it. I don't think he can carry this team alone against such a good team like Boston. I think the Leafs, they just give up too many shots. Andersen's just too worn down. They have no legitimate backup option. So if, God forbid, Frederik Andersen goes down, who do they have to replace him? Nobody. Garrett Sparks. Oh, yeah, sure. So really, Andersen is the deciding factor for the Leafs, and I think that's going to be the deciding factor for them to lose this one. In 6 games to the Boston Bruins, the Bruins are heading to the second round again, in my opinion. This one is really up in the air. If the goaltending duel is pretty even, if that one stays even, if Freddie Andersen stands on his head, it's anyone's series, but if he doesn't, the Leafs are out in 6. Let's get to the next matchup between the Carolina Hurricanes, first playoffs in 10 years, and the defending Stanley Cup champion, Washington Capitals. So the next matchup we're going to speak about is between the Carolina Hurricanes returning to the Stanley Cup playoffs for the first time in 10 years. Last time they were in the playoffs, Scotty Walker put them into the conference finals with an overtime win versus the Boston Bruins, but they ultimately got swept by the Pittsburgh Penguins in the conference final matchup, while they're playing against the defending Stanley Cup champion, Washington Capitals. And this one may be a hot take for my prediction for this series. I just have a hunch for this series. So going into this game, the series, the Canes had the 3rd most points in the 2019 calendar. That's just behind Tampa Bay and, of course, St. Louis. I touched up on that earlier in this video. And the Canes goaltending. Early in the season, the first half of the season, Peter Mrazek, 901 save percentage. Second half, 921 save percentage. He's been absolutely incredible. McElhaney has slowed down in the second half. Mrazek, by the way, has some playoff experience where he played very well with Detroit while in the playoffs with them. Continuing on with the Carolina Hurricanes, Nino Niederreiter got traded for Victor Rask. Traded Victor Rask for Nino Niederreiter. He's been absolutely stellar since being acquired by the Carolina Hurricanes. Now, of course, he got Sebastian Aho, he got Teuvo Teravainen, but Nino Niederreiter has been very, very good. And the Carolina Hurricanes also have some good depth scoring, like Wallmark, Fogle, etc. So the offense is okay. The defense excels with Dougie Hamilton, Justin Falk, Brett Pesce, Jacob Slavin. The defense on this team is something to watch. Advanced statistics show they're one of the best defensive quarters in the National Hockey League. They're able to score, they're able to stop chances. Their offense can put some pucks in the net. Their goaltending has been playing really, really, really good as of late, thanks to Peter Mrazek. And it really now comes down to the Capitals. Can the Capitals match up on that defense? You know John Carlson's good, but after that, the names start to falter. You know, they have some good defensemen, but the Canes get the advantage in defense. Offense, obviously the Caps. Goaltending is the matchup. I give that advantage to the Capitals. But one thing is, I'm saying the Canes in 7. Hot take. Canes in 7, the Carolina Hurricanes are going to take down the defending Stanley Cup champions. I know this is a hot take, but I have a hunch. The Canes, Peter Mrazek, is going to have I feel another stellar run coming out of them. 3 playoff appearances in their last 16 seasons, 3 of them. 2 of them to the conference final, 1 of them to the Stanley Cup championship. So this team has a knack for Cinderella runs. In my opinion, they're going to do it again with a win in 7 games against the defending Stanley Cup champion. Peter Mrazek can stand on his head. The defense is going to play as good as we know they can, and the offense is going to play okay, while the Caps are going to match up. Every game is going to be like a 1-goal game. It's going to be overtime bonanza, in my opinion, in this series. But I think the Canes are going to get lucky. I think the Canes are going to get the bounces their way. I think the hockey gods are shining down on the Storm Surge team, the bunch of jerks. I think they're going to win this 1-7. I'm probably going to be wrong. The Caps are insanely good. They won their division, the Metropolitan Division, but I just have a hunch. I have a hunch that the 3rd hottest team in the National Hockey League in 2019 is going to pull off one of the biggest upsets of the playoffs. We'll see what happens, but that's just my hunch. Now let's get to the last playoff series preview between the New York Islanders and the Pittsburgh Penguins. The final playoff preview is between the New York Islanders and the Pittsburgh Penguins. This one takes place at NASA Coliseum, where the Pittsburgh Penguins have a below 500 win percentage. Now, this is a huge factor in favor of the New York Islanders, because that crowd is going to be rowdy as hell. You saw them when John Tavares returned with the Toronto Maple Leafs at NASA Coliseum. That was a crazy atmosphere, and I could just expect nothing but more to the Pittsburgh Penguins. That's a rivalry right there. That is a huge factor in this series. Now, we know the Pittsburgh Penguins can score, but can they score against the William M. Jennings Trophy Award winners in Thomas Greiss and Robin Lehner? Robin Lehner, this season, at a .930 save percentage, I repeat, .930 save percentage and a 2.15 goals against average, while Thomas Greiss, .927, 2.28 goals against average. That is insanely good. Now, we know the Pittsburgh Penguins can score. I don't know if they can score against this goaltending. Meanwhile, the New York Islanders, decent offense, Anders Lee, Matthew Barzal, and their defense is okay. But really, the goaltending for the New York Islanders will decide if they win this one or not. Pittsburgh, we know they have offense, we know they have defense. Matt Murray has been inconsistent at times, but he's been good as of late. So the defense for the Penguins is a little slower. The offense is really good with Malkin, Gensel, Crosby, of course. Bukestad has been good since that trade, McCann. But really, I think this one comes down to, can the Pittsburgh Penguins score against the 2 best goaltenders in the National Hockey League statistically this year, basically. The best goaltending tandem in the National Hockey League by far. And let's say Robin Lehner does not do well. I'll just put Thomas Greiss in there with a .927 save percentage. Vice versa. They have options if the goaltending does not work in their favor. If Lehner doesn't play well, Greiss will play well. If Greiss doesn't play well, Lehner can play well. And like I say, I'll say it again. I say it in every single preview. Goaltending is the deciding factor. The Islanders have the best goaltending tandem in the playoffs and in the league. There's no doubt in my mind that they're going to play really well. I don't see why not. In front of that home crowd, they want to win it in front of that home crowd. The Islanders are going to win this one in 6 games. Robin Lehner or Thomas Greiss or both are going to be the reason why. The Penguins are going to get frustrated because they're not going to be able to score as many as they're usually able to against one of the best goaltending in the National Hockey League. And Crosby is going to face a first-round exit, while Robin Lehner and the New York Islanders are going to move on to the second round. I'm telling you, this goaltending is insane. I can't wait to see how far they can go, because this goaltending can carry you anywhere. and this goaltending can really carry them all the way to the Cup. I'm not saying they're going to go to the Cup, but don't be shocked if they go on a little run with that goaltending if they play up to the standards that we've held them to, considering their regular season statistics. Now let's wrap this video up. Like I said previously, the Islanders win this series in 6, in my opinion. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate your support. Now before we end this video, quick update. Tomorrow, I believe, we haven't confirmed it yet, but I have been speaking to Steve Warren, and we are expected to do a SENS season recap live stream tomorrow, probably sometime in the evening, so stay tuned for that. As well on Tuesday at around 8 o'clock, I believe, is the NHL Draft Lottery. I'll be doing a live stream with my live reaction to see if Ottawa gives up the first overall pick to the Colorado Avalanche. So stay tuned for that. That's on Tuesday. And then moving forward, we'll maybe have the occasional video, obviously a second round playoff preview video. And yeah, so that's what's coming up for the schedule, and let's wrap it up. So please follow us on Twitter at @SenStock_. For live updates of the games and of course breaking news, please like us on Facebook, SenStock, add us to circles on Google+, SenStock. Click the big red button down there and subscribe to us. Like this video, share this video, or share cool stuff. Please check out our website, SenStockCentral.com. We update that every single day. And of course, please check out our sponsor, SeatGeek.com, or download the app on the App Store and use the promo code SENSTOCK, save $20 off your first purchase. Thank you, by the way, to you, the fans, for 550 subscribers. Great accomplishment. I can't wait to keep on growing. I'll see you tomorrow for the Steve Warren live show sometime in the evening. So stay tuned for that. Enjoy the playoffs. Starts Wednesday night. Let's drop the puck. Let's get the playoffs underway. Thank you all for watching. Go Sens, go.